This was what happened at the time when Jesus prayed at the place called Gethsemane. As Jesus walks with his disciples, he slowly turned to them and said, "Sit here while I go over there and pray." The disciples nodded, and Jesus went a little farther and threw himself to the ground. While he was praying, there are flashes and flashes of scenes of what will going to happen to him. So Jesus said to himself, as he was praying in there, "Father, if possible, take this cup of suffering from me. Not my will, however, but your will be done." Then he stand up and returned to the disciples. But when he returned, he found his disciples asleep. Jesus stood in front of his sleeping disciples and said to them, "How is it that you were not able to keep watch with me for even an hour? Keep watch and pray that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak." In the second and third sorrowful mystery, this was what happened when Jesus was scourged at the pillar and was crowned with thorns by the soldiers. Jesus was half naked when he was being beaten by iron chairs and metal sticks by the soldiers. They continued beating Jesus with no mercy, and all Jesus could do is groan and shout in pain. After being punished by hitting Jesus, the soldiers took him and placed a crown made from bushes with thorns. Afterwards, they presented him to the temple. Jesus is standing there helplessly, wounded with blood all over his body, and clothed with a thorny crown in his head. And the crowd demanded,
Crucify him! Crucify him! Crucify him!
And so they have to crucify Jesus. He was carrying his cross to Mount Calvary when he heard the woman cried and waited for him. Jesus slowly turned back and said, "Woman of Jerusalem, don't cry for me, but for yourselves and your children. For the days are coming when people will say, 'How lucky are the women who never had children, who never bore babies, who never nursed them.' That will be the time when people will say to the mountains, 'Fall on us,' and to the hills, 'Hide us.' For if such things as these are done when the road is green, what will happen when it is dry?" And so the woman kept crying, and Jesus continued carrying his cross. They came to the place called the Skull. They crucified Jesus there and the two other criminals, one on the half or left and on the right. It was about 12 o'clock when the sun stopped shining and darkness covered the whole country until 3 o'clock. Jesus looked up in the heaven and cried out in a loud, loud voice, "Father, in your hands I place my spirit." And so
All I once held dear, built my life upon.
sometimes in our life we tend to forget our Savior, Jesus, without even remembering His sufferings, which caused Him to die, a dying with much love for all of us, mankind. Our group would like to thank the following: Sun City for our location, and Jollibee's Drive-Thru Buhangin Branch for our lunch and editing place. Thank you.
Thank you!